We have these Old Testament Israelites who don't know the Bible, who try to twist the scriptures to satisfy and sustain the so-called white man as the biblical Jew, because that's what they do. You have Negroes following this, believing that this is biblical and scriptural. It's not. That's not in the Bible. And I'm going to show you biblical proof along with archaeological proof to show you how we are to wear the fringes. So don't, y'all online, because I heard in Atlanta you had a numbskull in Atlanta. Come into camp dressed like these people. Okay. Let's open up with Numbers 15:38. God gave the black man, black woman, Latin man, Latin woman a dress code, and we are commanded to obey his dress code, opposed to following the world's dress code. Right, black man? With your pants below your butt? What kind of fashion is that? I never know. Numbers 15, let's start there.
Numbers 15, verse 37. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and bid them that they make them fringes in the borders of their garments.
If you ever see the American Indians, even those old movies, they always wore fringes in their garments. Go ahead. And this is why, because they are the people of the book, just as we are. Come on.
Throughout their generation.
Meaning always. Go ahead.
And that they put upon the fringe of the borders a ribbon of blue.
So once you put the fringe down, you put a ribbon of blue on top of that. Many times they would cut our people would cut the hem up as fringes and then lay the border of blue over it. All right, that way the fringe wouldn't tear past that ribbon of blue because it would hold it right there. Everybody understand that?
Right.
Come on.
And it shall be unto you for a fringe.
Come on.
That you may look upon it and remember all the commandments of the Lord.
So the fringes have a meaning behind it. Right. It symbolizes the keeping of God's commandments. So when you look upon the fringes, you are to remember the commandments of God. So in order to look upon it, where they got to be? Are they tucked inside your trousers? No. I hear some of y'all saying some simple stuff. Well, it's inside my pants. So I know it's there. No, don't be simple. That's not what God said. Come on.
And do them.
And what?
I'm sorry, from the top. It shall be unto you for a fringe, that you may look upon it and remember all the commandments of the Lord and do them.
Come on.
And that ye seek not after your own heart.
Now this is what I want all y'all to hear. And that you seek not after your own heart. Meaning what? Your own mind. Go ahead.
And your own eyes.
And your own eyes. Go ahead.
After which ye used to go a-whoring.
After which you used to go a-whoring. Because growing up, where did blacks and Latinos, where do we get our styles from? Based on what we see. We look around and we look at society and then we just flip it a little bit. White man got a hat, we got a hat, we tip it to the back. We always look to see what's out there and we just put a little spin on it. Okay? That same way with the black women, how they dress. They look at Essence Magazine. Essence Magazine look at Vogue Magazine. Everything blacks and Latinos do, they look at white society and see where they can get how to dress, how to fashion trend. As God said, as Israelites, we are not to be like that. Read that part again.
And that you seek not after your own heart and your own eyes, after which you used to go a-whoring. Okay,
after which you used to go a-whoring. That's the same, the history with Achan, who saw a Babylonian garment. God said, don't wear that. The Negro stole it and buried it and hid it in his tent with his wife and kids.
I'll wear it later.
He said, I'll wear that garment later. That thing was bad. God said, kill him and his wife and his kids
and his cattle.
Kill them all. Because the Most High is about he's a trendsetter. Okay? Don't think the Most High just sits on his throne with his sheet. See, a lot of us can't imagine what the Most High be wearing. He is the, give me some words.
The trendsetter.
He is the trendsetter. You gotta imagine him sitting on a throne. Every few seconds is a different garment. The Most High is bad. He is the epitome of fashion. And the Bible, give me that in Ezekiel. Hold on, we're coming back to Numbers, but get Ezekiel, you know what I want. 16, I think it's 40. About how the nations viewed us when we dress.
Verse 10. I clothe thee also with broidered work.
Broidered work, meaning finely designed, fashionably designed work.
And shod thee with badger's skin. And I girded thee about with fine linen. And I covered thee with silk.
See, some of y'all thought the Chinese invented silk. No, that came from our forefathers and our foremothers. We wore the silks. Go ahead.
I decked thee also with ornaments. And I put bracelets upon thy hands.
Right, the bracelets, that was all us. When the bracelets for men is different from the women. This is what, when we wore bracelets, this was an example, but we wore real gold, real silver, with real diamonds and gems in them. Go ahead.
And the chain on thy neck.
And we all, so you want to know why people like to wear chains? That's in our spirit. It's in the Bible. That's how we always dress. Go ahead. Now, if you're going to get robbed, because you got to watch out for a broke Negro today. A Negro is so coveted, he'll see an angel come from heaven with diamonds and gold. He go, yo, let's rob that nigga.
Forget the wings.
Forget the wings. Just rob him. That's how people get down.
Take the wings too.
Try to steal rims off the chariot.
Go ahead.
And I put a jewel on thy forehead.
Right, because when we wore headbands, we had, the jewels was there. The women wore headbands as well. They had jewels in them. Go ahead. And that's like when you see the old American Indian, the way they used to dress. They didn't just have a strip of leather. They had diamonds in them things.
Yeah, gold sewn in their clothes.
Exactly. Go ahead.
And I put a jewel on thy forehead, and earrings in thine ears. Earrings.
We wore earrings.
Yes.
Go ahead.
And a beautiful crown upon thine head.
Come on.
Thus wast thou decked with gold and silver, and thy raiment was of fine linen, and silk embroidered work.
Here it come.
Thou didst eat fine flour and honey and oil, and thou wast exceeding beautiful. And thou didst prosper into a kingdom.
We prospered into a kingdom. Go ahead.
And thy renown.
And your fame. The word renown means fame. And your fame. Go ahead.
Went forth among the heathen.
Went forth among the heathen. Go ahead.
For thy beauty.
For thy beauty. All the heathen envied the Israelites. We were always the trendsetters. They followed our dress code. So that's why in our repenting now, we got to get up, we got to step up on our game.
For it was perfect through my comeliness, which I had put upon thee, said the Lord God.
Okay, let's go back to Numbers 15 now.
Verse 38. Speak unto the children of Israel, and bid them that they make them fringes in the borders of their garments throughout their generations, and that they put upon the fringe of the borders a riband of blue. And it shall be unto you for a fringe, that ye look upon it, and remember all the commandments of the Lord, and do them.
So the fringes are meant to remind us of God's commandments. Go ahead.
And that ye seek not after your own heart and your own eyes, after which ye used to go a-whoring.
So we're not supposed to follow our brothers in the world, our brothers and sisters like Fubu, Sean John, Rockaware. We are not to follow them because their trends is worldly trends outside of God's commandments.
Apple bottoms.
Apple bottom, all that stuff. Fat farm. We are not to follow that. That's the part about after which your eyes used to go a-whoring. Go ahead.
That ye may remember and do all my commandments and be holy unto your God. I am the Lord your God, which brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am the Lord your God.
So now, in case you wondered, well, how are fringes worn? Maybe it does look like dirty shoelaces, like the so-called white man wears. But let's go to Exodus 28:33. Here's an example of how the high priest wore his fringes, and on his, they were pomegranates and bells. It's going to describe how they were worn. This is the example.
Exodus 28, verse 33.
Listen real good.
And beneath, upon the hem of it.
The hem of his garment. The hem, where's the hem? What is the hem of the garment?
Bottom.
The bottom of your garment, like on your shirt that hangs below, that's the hem at the very bottom. Read that part again.
And beneath, upon the hem of it, thou shalt make pomegranates of blue, and of purple, and of scarlet, round about the hem thereof.
See that? Round about the hem of it. Round about the hem. Not dangling on four parts. Not that.
That ain't the Bible you just read, eh?
This is the Bible. Read that again, Arthur. Where you at?
Verse 33. 28, verse 33.
Exodus 28:33. Go ahead.
And beneath, upon the hem of it, thou shalt make pomegranates of blue.
Because he had a blue border too. Go ahead.
Of purple, and of scarlet, round about the hem thereof, and bells of gold between them round about.
Right, because on the priest's garment, he had bells on his garment. So all of that went round about the hem. Can we go back to the Assyrians now? Now, do y'all see the fringes at the bottom? Do y'all see how the fringes are worn? This is ancient archaeology from the Assyrian captivity. 722, thank you. 722 BC. This is how the Israelites wore their fringes. So don't get fooled by a dumb Negro following the white man. No, you're supposed to wear dirty shoelaces on the side. Now you see their arms are bound, okay? Because the Assyrians bound our people as slaves, okay? That was the northern kingdom. Now, I'm going to show you where the confusion comes from. Go to Deuteronomy 22 verse 12. This is where the confusion comes from. The dumb Negro that follows the so-called white man. Here's the verse. But when you read this verse is saying the same thing as Numbers 15:38. It's just using different words.
Deuteronomy 22 verse 12. Thou shalt make thee fringes upon the four quarters of thy vesture, wherewith thou coverest thyself.
So you see that thou shalt make thee fringes upon the four quarters of thy vesture. So the so-called white man teaches the Negro, imbecile, see? 4 quarters, that means just 4 places. Right, that's what it means, just 4 parts. But I'm going to show you a precept to explain 4 quarters. Go to Revelation 20:8.
Yeah.
Here's a scripture to explain 4 quarters. Now you tell me if this is 4 parts or it means all over, all around.
Revelations 20 verse 8.
Listen good.
And shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the 4 quarters of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them together to battle, the number of whom is as the sand of the sea.
So all these nations that they're gathering from the 4 quarters, is that from the South Pole? The North Pole? You see how dumb that is? It's not talking about the top of the earth, which is the North Pole, bottom, which is the South Pole. Ain't nobody living. These people is dumb. 4 quarters just means all over. So go back to Deuteronomy 22 and 12 now, and read it again.
Thou shalt make thee fringes upon the 4 quarters.
So that 4 quarters just means all about the hem, like the other precepts we just read. That's what it's saying. So don't get confused by stupidity.
Like a basketball game, it's 4 quarters. That's the entire game. You go through all 4 quarters, the game is over. Or 1:45 on a clock. Go all around the clock, it's complete. It's simpletons.
Simple. So don't let Negroes with a kufi or a yarmulke deceive y'all. And they out, believe me, they out there. Dumb as hell, dumb as a rock. So now, go ahead.
If I give you 3 quarters of a pie, are you just gonna have a thin line?
Damn sense.
Okay.
Get me Zephaniah 1:8. In case somebody want to be dumb. I could wear my pants below my butt and look like a coon Sambo if I want. The way you dress tells you, when you see a brother with a black suit and a bow tie, generally what is his faith? Muslim. Okay. When you see a dumb Negro with a kufi and 4 dirty shoelaces, what is his faith? He's following a so-called Jew. Okay? Your dress, the way you dress symbolizes or represents your state of mind, your faith. That's why God says this in Zephaniah 1 verse 8.
And it shall come to pass in the day of the Lord's sacrifice that I will punish the princes and the king's children and all such as are clothed with strange apparel.
Right. The Most High is serious about that dress code. He said, I'm going to punish them clothed in strange apparel, because the way you dress represents your faith. Back in the day, you knew a hoe when you saw a hoe. She had the high heels, she might have had the fishnet stockings on, cleavage was showing, right? Red lipstick. There was a way they all dressed back then, but now a lot of them dressing like that, so it's hard to tell. What the hell is this? You see a guy with a white outfit on and a stethoscope around his neck. What is he? Right. The way you dress tells what you are. When you see a Negro with his pants below his butt, what is he? I'm sorry if I offend some of you.